Hollywood Hall of Fame. Early influences. Source: All About History. By visualgk.com. Francis Marion. American, 1888 to 1973. Having arrived in Hollywood in the silent era, when a script could be little more than a handful of scenarios to play out, Marion helped to define the screenwriter role. She started as an actress, but quickly transitioned behind the camera, writing in both the silent and talkie eras, for some of the biggest performers of the time. She was a star writer for MGM, credited with some of its great success, eventually making over 300 movies in her career. Charlie Chaplin. British, 1889 to 1977. One of the most famous names and faces, from the silent era of cinema, the Little Tramp helped to transform the comic character archetype of cinema, from a sidekick role, to the star. In fact, Chaplin was one of the first truly global stars, thanks to a string of sympathetic everyman performances, that could be enjoyed by everyone. He also changed the business of Hollywood, when he co-founded United Artists, in 1919, to help produce and distribute his films. They backed independent artists to create their visions, until it was bought out by MGM, in the 1980s. Sidney Poitier. American, 1927 to 2022. In 2022, Variety described Poitier as the actor who redefined America. It's a bold statement, but one backed up by a string of films, through the late 1950s, and into the 60s and 70s, that challenged conceptions of race and equality, at the height of the civil rights movement. Poitier's performances of quiet dignity and gravitas, played against stereotypes, to create iconic heroes on screen, culminating in an Academy Award win, in 1964. Marilyn Monroe. American, 1926 to 1962. There were plenty of Hollywood stars, before Marilyn Monroe, but few who could be argued to have been bigger after her. Making her name in the 1950s, Monroe upended traditional images of femininity at the time, becoming a fashion and style icon, as well as a box office smash. The way in which she played with and against her sexualized image, often for comic effect, was also trend-setting. The tragic end of her life put Hollywood's treatment of its stars in the spotlight too. Mary Pickford. Canadian, 1892 to 1979. Pickford started out as a superstar of the silent era, but that was only the beginning of her impact on cinema. She was a co-founder of United Artists, in 1919, alongside Chaplin, giving more power to the creative talents behind Hollywood's success. And then she helped to found the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences, in 1927, the body that today is best known for its Oscars ceremony. She also won Best Actress award, in its second year. Louis B. Mayer. American, 1884 to 1957. The most powerful of the studio moguls in the Golden Age, Mayer helped to shape Hollywood, as it became the cultural force we know today. He started out owning movie theaters, before opening his own studios, in Hollywood, then merging with another, to form MGM, Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer, which he led. He spearheaded the glitz and glamour of films, targeted at the masses, promising MGM had more stars than there are in heaven. Alfred Hitchcock. British, 1899 to 1980. The concept of the auteur director in cinema, a filmmaker whose vision is all-powerful, and often comes with identifiable elements, is now common in Hollywood. The first man to truly cement such a legacy was Alfred Hitchcock. The British director became known as the master of suspense, thanks to a run of tense thrillers, like Rear Window, and Vertigo, melding artistic flourishes of German expressionism into his popular Hollywood flicks. His impact was so great, as to earn the eponymous adjective of Hitchcockian, for any film that touches upon the core elements of his style. Walt Disney. American, 1901 to 1966. The name Disney today is synonymous with family entertainment, and some of the most popular and money-making movies in history, but the man who started it all, began as a cartoonist. Achieving some success with a short animation, based on Alice in Wonderland, Walt started an animation studio in Hollywood, with his brother Roy, in 1923. From there was born Mickey Mouse, and a pantheon of other animal characters, as well as the first full-length animated feature film, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. And that's before we even get into the theme parks. Marlon Brando. American, 1924 to 2004. When it comes to the evolution of acting in Hollywood, one name stands above all others. Marlon Brando. He was one of a number of actors in his generation, to study under Stella Adler, to become a method actor. Moving to Hollywood, having established himself in New York theaters, his grounded performances in films like A Streetcar Named Desire, were a revelation. The contrast of Brando's gritty, emotional performances, against the affected Golden Age style, marked a new era of cinema. Dorothy Arner. American, 1897 to 1979. Not a household name today, Arner was the only woman directing feature films in Hollywood, in the 1930s, credited with 17 films. This unique place in Hollywood history would be remarkable enough, but Arner was also an innovator. She's credited with being the inventor of the first boom mic, a now ubiquitous way of recording dialogue when filming. She also helped to launch the careers of some of the industry's biggest stars, like Lucille Ball, and Katharine Hepburn. She was pivotal to the evolution of Hollywood, from the silent to sound eras, and an inspiration to many, who followed her. Please like, share and subscribe. visualgk.com